Randall W. Harding sang in the choir at Crossroads Christian Church in Corona, California, and donated part of his conspicuous wealth to its ministries. In his business dealings, he underscored his faith by naming his investment firm JTL, or Just the Lord. Pastors and churchgoers alike entrusted their money to him. By the time Harding was unmasked as a fraud, he and his partners had stolen more than $50 million from their clients. And Crossroads became yet another cautionary tale in what investigators say is a worsening problem plaguing the nation's churches. Between 1984 and 1989, about $450 million was stolen in religion-related scams, the association says. In its latest count from 1998 to 2001, the toll had risen to $2 billion. Rip-offs have only become more common since. Lambert Vander Tuig, a member of the Saddleback Church in Lake Forest, California, ran a real estate scam that bilked investors out of $50 million, the Securities and Exchange Commission says. His salesmen presented themselves as faithful Christians and distributed copies of The Purpose-Driven Life by Saddleback pastor Rick Warren, according to the SEC. Warren and his church had no knowledge of Vander Tuig's activities, says the SEC. And in a dramatically broader scam, leaders of the Greater Ministries International, based in Tampa, Florida, defrauded thousands of people of $500 million by promising to double money on investments that ministry officials said were blessed by God. Typically, a con artist will target the pastor first by making a generous donation and appealing to the minister's desire to expand the church or its programs, according to Joseph Board, director of the Alabama Securities Commission, who played a key role in breaking up the Greater Ministries scam. If the pastor invests, the churchgoers view it as a tacit endorsement.
You know, Dave, these con artists, and obviously they're big time. We're talking about billions of dollars. But you'd think they'd get their ideas, or in terms of a group to go after, by watching much of Christian TV, especially where you have the prosperity teachers and so on. I mean, they can see greed right there, and people trying to make more. And when you put it in the context of this is God blessing, they got to have a field day.
Tom, it seems that people who call themselves Christians, profess to be Christians, are very naive. Of course, they would have to be. Non-Christians looking at Benny Hinn or Copeland or these guys on TV, wow, they know they're frauds. Oral Roberts, oh my goodness. But Christians invested, what, $240 million, something like that, or much more even, in his bogus hospital that, had a fraction of about 1/3 occupied at its best and went bankrupt. But
and then he went for an appeal and said, if God, if I don't get this much money, God is going to take me home.
$8 million.
And what happens?
Yeah,
the money came forth.
Tom, in the year that he went bankrupt, the year that the City of Hope, that church, went bankrupt, Oral Roberts was voted, I forget the exact terminology, but the most successful Christian leader in the country, or maybe in the world.
Yeah, who brought us seed faith.
Yeah.
What a con job.
But, Tom, this is a tragedy, and part of it is, this would work on non-Christians also. It doesn't tell us how much they lose, probably far more in scams, because it's like, Tom, you're a fisherman, and you know what it's like. Boy, the next one is going to be the big one. And so you just keep fishing to somehow, you got a vision of that big one you're going to get. Yeah. So everybody would like to double their money or triple their money. It's something they want to believe because it's greed. It's the greed on the part of Christians.
Yeah, but Dave, if God's involved, I mean, talk about baiting the hook here.
Sure, yeah. But it's greed that drives this thing, first of all. And they're willing to believe anything.
So, Dave, what's the antidote to this? We're concerned about this. We're not just taking these people to task. We know anybody could be subject to this depending on how something is presented to them. But we've been seeing, not just in this area, but in many areas, Christians aren't thinking today. They're not thinking doctrinally. They're not thinking biblically. They're going with the more experiential side of Christianity, okay, if you can say that. Well, there is an experiential side. That's true, but they're pushing the envelope, I think.
Well, first of all, Tom, making money has nothing to do with Christianity. God has not promised to make us rich. Mm-hmm. Now, he might bless our investment or our work, our efforts, and he certainly has done that with many leading Christians. But when someone promises you they're going to double your money in a short while, that's a red flag right there. You better check this out carefully. Yeah, I don't want to check it out because I'm afraid if I do, I might find out it's not right, and I want to believe this. That is an attitude that we can have because our hearts are deceitful. And Tom, I don't know how you get rid of these faxes that come in. On my machine, almost every day, there's a fax from this company or that. Oh, they got a terrific stock, a low-price stock, and they've got all the reasons why it's going to forget it. But I try. I call the number to get rid of this, and they just keep coming. So anyway, it's something that, who was it? Barnum?
P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute, and you just play to their desires. They're willing to believe anything. That's how they worked all these sideshows and so forth.
So people need to be, if they call themselves Christians, they need to be thoughtful. They need to think these things through and be diligent in checking things out. We encourage people with regard to the Scriptures to search the Scriptures daily to see if these things are so. We need to do that in every aspect of your life, especially when it comes to being a good steward of what God has provided for you.
For more information about the Berean call us toll-free at our order number or visit our website